So some might ask, I had this question over and over again, and this law of clean and unclean animals is not valid today because, well, we're going to talk about that. So is it valid to us today? That's the question that many ask, and that's the question that many say, no, it's not valid. We can eat anything we want. But the Bible speaks for itself. So many people have been misled into believing that the law of clean and unclean animals are only for the Jewish nation. But way before there was a Jewish nation, this law already existed. We find the notion of unclean and clean animals just prior to the flood. God told Noah, and we can read in Genesis chapter 7 verse 2, of every clean beast you shall take to thee by sevens. So the clean beast by sevens, the male and his female, and the beasts that are not clean by two, the male and the female. So even before there was a Jewish nation, God's people knew about clean and unclean animals. So this is not just for the Jews, that's for everybody, that's for humankind. So we can read also in Isaiah 66 verse 15 to 17 that the law of clean and unclean animal will still have to be obeyed at Jesus' second coming. So it's from the beginning and from the end and until the end. It says, for behold, the Lord will come with fire and with his chariots, like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. For by fire and by his sword will the Lord plead with all flesh, and the slain of the Lord shall be many. They that sanctify themselves and purify themselves in the gardens beyond one tree in the midst, eating swine flesh, so swine is pig, and the abomination, so anything that is unclean, and the mouse shall be consumed together, saith the Lord. So God is clear that these things, even until Jesus' second coming, should not be eaten. Anything that is unclean. God won't take ignorance, like I said, but when we know and we still do it, God is... well, we can pray. So if there is anybody who struggles with eating these things, prayer is a great thing to do, because God will answer the prayer and will help. Like he helped me, because I used to enjoy these things, but God took my desire away. So God can help anybody. So was these laws nailed to the cross? Like I heard so many times. Like these laws are not for us today. It was nailed at the cross. We can eat anything we want today. So many think this today, and I'm not judging. We are here to learn, and everybody grow at their own pace. I think you say pace, yeah. And so some laws were nailed at the cross, indeed, but that were only the ceremonial laws, which were pointing to Jesus' death and his resurrection. But the other laws of the Ten Commandments, of course not, but the other laws, even the dietary laws, were never nailed at the cross. That was not ceremonial laws. And actually, Jesus came to fulfill the laws and not to nail these laws at the cross. So like I said, Jesus didn't come to abolish the law, but to fulfill it. We can read that in Matthew chapter 5, from verse 17 to 19. It says that until heaven and earth pass, not one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. And it talks about the commandments, and Jesus came here to fulfill the law, to make it more full, to make it more meaningful, and even it starts to make us understand that it starts with the mind, and it says also, Jesus said, if you love me, keep my commandments. And also it is written, for this is the love of God, that we keep his commandments, and his commandments are not grievous. So it's the 10 commandments, and we can even think about the dietary laws that were not nailed at the cross, but are valid to us today. And there are many Bible verses that are misinterpreted or misunderstood, like Peter's vision. Peter had a vision. God gave him a vision with unclean animals, and God told Peter, go kill and eat these unclean animals. But then it's so important to read the surrounding verses. You can't just read one or two verses and make a conclusion. When you read the whole, when you put everything into context, you realize that the unclean animals symbolize the Gentiles, the people who were not Jews at this time, because Peter was a Jew, and before going to the Gentiles and telling them about God, or they would not do that. But God told him actually, go to the Gentiles and go tell them about me, and go share with the whole world. So that was a symbol. To eat the unclean animals was a symbol. And there are other verses that are misinterpreted, and I share about that in my book, The Bible Diet, that you can get for free on the app that I will share at the end. But there are many misinterpreted verses